So the crime today we will be analyzing is a crime between Lee Zhou and Gong Yuan. It is a second-degree murder that happened in West Vancouver.
Mr. Yan and Mr. Zhou were in a verbal fight. Mr. Yan threw a hammer at Mr. Zhou that missed. Mr. Zhou took a rifle and shot Mr. Yan in the neck. That killed him.
And then after that, Mr. Zhou took Mr. Yuan's body and cut it up into 12 pieces.
During collecting and analyzing evidence in this Canadian criminal case involves initial police containment, the securing of remains, collection protocol by identification officers, transportation to laboratories, and subsequent analysis by specialized personnel like pathologists and firearm experts.
Okay, the initial steps taken by the West Vancouver police were focused on containment and securing the crime scene before any collection process began. Now, upon receiving the information about the severity of the victim's injuries and the presence of firearms, police decided not to enter the house immediately where the evidence was. Instead, they set up containment around the large house on King George Way in West Vancouver. And the plan relied entirely on the emergency response team, ERT, for any necessary entries. Now, officers maintained a perimeter made undisputed objective observations of the accused Li Zhao during the night, providing contextual support for later forensic findings. These observations included Mr. Zhao's meticulously cleaning the scene and tools.
Once Mr. Zhao was taken into custody around 8 a.m. on May 3rd, 2015, the ERT entered the house followed by identification officers. The human remains found were in plastic bags in the garage that contained Mr. Yuan's dismembered remains. Tools and weapons that were found was a .17 caliber bolt-action rifle, as well as a saw and its blades found in the garage, and a household hammer that was next to the saw, as well as a hunting knife.
Additionally, more evidence was found, such as ammunition components. 2 expended cartridge cases were found, one near the stairs in the driveway, and also another one found in the shrubs near the residence. Also, there were clothing and biological evidence, such as Mr. Zhao's clothing. It was seized for a forensic examination and later taken into custody. Red-colored clothing items that were soaked in a pail of water was found in the washroom, and the important note about this evidence is that those red-colored clothing items matched Mr. Yuan's DNA. 3 pairs of shoes were found that had blood stains on them. Additionally, there were documentations. Any apparent injuries to Mr. Zhao's body was photographed by identification officers before the interview began. The scenes were also documented via photos for later bloodstain analysis. Now, the transportation of all these evidences was taken to the laboratory of RCMP in Surrey. Now, the specific movement of evidence from the West Vancouver house to the testing facilities that I mentioned in Surrey is critical for maintaining the chain of custody. The autopsy part, the plastic bags containing Mr. Yuan's remains secured by the identification officers were packaged into 12 boxes and then transported for autopsy. Later on, an additional box containing a missing arm bone was again taken into for autopsy.
So Mr. Zhao himself was transported to the jail facility of the Vancouver Police Department, which supported the West Vancouver investigations. The VPD subsequently played several investigative roles, meaning seized items would be channeled through the VPD facilities. Items like the rifle, cartridge cases, and bloodstain samples were transferred to the specialized units such as the RCMP's Bloodstain Pattern Analysis Unit and the VPD's Firearm Analysis Unit.
Okay, analysis of evidence, of biological evidence and preparation for trial. We're going to talk about right now. So lab workers such as forensic pathologists, firearm analysts, bloodstain pattern analysts conducted specialized examination to transform physical evidence, info findings, and opinions that is suitable for trial presentation. Now, right now I'm going to specifically talk about the biological and pathological evidence. Now, Dr. Ord was the person that performed the autopsy on the victim. Now, the process was significantly complicated due to the dismemberment. And the method and the way he did it was he x-rayed and visually examined the contents of each of the 12 body remains in the boxes, because it was cut. The body was cut into 12 pieces. He analyzed the wounds and noted that the skin was cut fairly neatly by a knife and the bones were sawn through. Now, the way that it was, all these evidences and statements were prepared for trial, he determined the cause of death and identified key injuries such as skull fracture and leg fracture, and confirmed that the gunpowder tattooing on the neck tissue indicated a close-range shooting on about less than 20 centimeters away from the victim's neck. His testimony included detailed explanations of the before-death nature of certain injuries based on the presence of blood in the tissues.
The firearm analyst and toolmark examiner with the VPD analyzed the weapons and the ammunition components. He detailed that the manual operation of the bolt-action rifle and emphasized that the user must manually move the bolt to a chamber in the cartridge and pull back the bolt to eject a spent casing and reload. This demonstrated the necessary steps taken by Mr. Zhao. He linked that the two recovered expended cartridge cases to the specific seized rifle. Critically, he identified fragments from at least 2 different fired bullets within Mr. Yao's body. Range and residue. He conducted test firing using ammunition from Mr. Zhao's home to establish the maximum range, which was less than 20 centimeters, that could have produced the residue pattern found on Mr. Yuan's neck. He analyzed the characteristics of the hole in Mr. Yuan's shirt, concluding that it was a bullet hole, and offered the uncontinuous opinion that numerous cuts to the bone were made by reciprocating saw.
Next up is bloodstain pattern analysis. Sergeant Cockle analyzed the size, shape, and the distribution of bloodstains at the scene. She analyzed the impact patterns, drip trails, and swipe patterns of the blood in the driveway. Now, how her testimony and statement was used in the trial. Her key opinions organized around the critical areas of the house, such as the foyer, the garage, and the driveway, helped link Mr. Zhao's post-offense actions, such as the dragging, the cleaning, and the cutting of the body, to the physical evidence. She confirmed that the blood sampled at the scene matched Mr. Yuan's DNA. Her analysis allowed the Crown to argue that the sequence of events, such as the multiple impacts, movement, dragging, and overall Mr. Zhao's post-offense actions. In summary, the VPD and RCMP worked together to secure and collect critical evidence and package remains and tools to link it to the case and Mr. Zhao's crime. Lab experts then analyzed this evidence to provide objective support regarding the sequence of the assault, such as the hammer blows, the gunshots, the proximity of the fatal shot, and the methodological nature of Mr. Zhao's post-offense cleanup and dismemberment actions. Now, we are going to be talking about DNA and fingerprinting analysis and how the evidence is linked to Mr. Zhao being the criminal. I will be talking about the DNA analysis, and Anushka will be talking about fingerprinting analysis. Now, how the DNA analysis is done is that the sample, the blood stains found in the foyer, in the garage, and in the driveway, we must take a sample of those blood stains and try to extract blood cells out of it. Now, red blood cells do not have a nucleus, therefore they do not have a DNA, therefore those cells are useless to us. We have to extract other blood cells, such as white blood cells, perform cell fractionation to extract the nucleus. It is a technique to extract different organelles. We take out or extract the nucleus of those cells, then we extract the DNA. If the DNA of those blood stains match the DNA of the dismembered body, it means that Mr. Yuan was killed by Mr. Zhao, or shot by Mr. Zhao. Now, Anushka will be talking about how the evidence links to Mr. Zhao actually committing the crime and shooting.
So investigators examined the firearm used to shoot Mr. Yuan, as well as the surfaces within the garage and tools used for dismemberment for latent fingerprints. Finding Mr. Zhao's fingerprints on the gun would have supported the Crown's case that he was the person who fired the weapon. Similarly, prints on the reciprocating saw, garbage bags, and other materials could could help establish that he handled those items while attempting to conceal or dismember the body. So how is fingerprint analysis done? Investigators search for latent or invisible fingerprints at a crime scene on surfaces such as weapons, furniture, or objects handled by suspects or victims. These prints can be collected using powder, chemical reagents, or specialized lighting, such as alternate lighting sources. Once developed, these prints are photographed and lifted using adhesive tape or scanned digitally to preserve their details. Forensic experts compare the rigid patterns, loops, whorls, and arcs, and mitigate the points, ridges, endings, and bifurcations with known prints from the suspects or the victims. If a sufficient number of unique ridges characteristics match between the crime scene prints and the suspect's prints, the experts can conclude that they originated from the same person.